Hi there, Sandy Freshy back again, reporting from the projector projection field, or my projector projection field. And this is part 2 of my, is this a story time? I guess it is. A story time about my insights or my experiences with recognition and invitation and where that's leading me. So in part 1, I talked about some experiences I'm having in graduate school. And there is actually a sequel to that one that has to do with the person who has been facilitating some opportunities for me. But I'm going to leave that for part 3. And in this portion, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening this summer. So I am finishing up as we speak the spring semester of, this is spring 2025. So I have one more year after completing this semester. And that's a year of 3 semesters, summer semester and then fall of 2025 and spring of 2026. So I am into the weeds of getting ready to enter into the real stuff for my training in clinical mental health counseling. So this summer, I will be entering the practicum phase of my training, which means that I go to a site where mental health counselors work, and I learn about the work by shadowing other counselors, and then eventually I get to spend about 40 hours of the summer working with my own clients in that environment. So as I was applying for these practicum placement sites, I was really feeling into what is important, like during interviews, to pay attention to for my design, my 3-5 Splenic Projector, narrow valleys environment design. Okay, and so, I know that I need to have some kind of a resonance and with the person who's interviewing me or the person who's facilitating that opportunity. I need to be seen, feel like I'm seen and recognized for who I am, and that they're really truly seeing me, because that line 5, that 5th line in my profile, if you've got that, it's a projection field. So I'm a projector living in a projection field, and it's on the unconscious side of the chart. So it's like, I don't even know sometimes if that I'm in, that people are projecting or seeing me not as accurately as myself. So I got a few offers for interviews, and it was really an interesting experience because I could tell in my body what was landing and what wasn't. And I have a little bit of a bleeding heart in the sense that right angle cross of service, and I'm in that place where I'm really feeling the this energy of service, of that desire to serve from the essence of who I am. So a couple of the places where I applied are like community-based counseling places that deal with one of them was dealing with addictions, and the other was a inpatient mental health hospital. So here's the funny thing that I learned. Don't ever, for me, note to self, never take another person's advice about what to do or what not to do at face value. I always have to screen it through my authority. And that's good information for any of you who are in your human design experiment. Always screen it through your own authority. So to make a long story short, I was told by several people, do not do not go to the inpatient mental health hospital. It will be a terrible experience. And I'm not saying it won't be if I decided to go there, and here's why. Let's just cut to the chase. Even though, and I almost canceled that interview because other people were saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't go there. Somebody several years ago went there and they couldn't get their hours. It was a terrible experience. They hated it. And by this time, I had interviewed at a community mental health counseling place that deals with addictions. I had interviewed at a hospital setting, outpatient hospital setting. And I had also interviewed at what I thought would be my ideal place to end up, which is a small group practice that's owned by one of my professors that I really, really love and respect. And their facility is so beautiful, and it's so heart-centered, and it's so light-filled, for lack of a better term. And when I went to that place that my mind said, this is what you want, right? This is what you came here for, is like to be in a small group private practice. It felt kind of flat. Like it didn't, the way my spleen works in my authority is that there's the intuitive part, the instinctive in the moment knowing, right? And then there's also this other component of this subtle resonance in my body, and I've described it in the past as kind of like a feeling like a gong feeling, like someone tapped a gong, and that vibration is moving through my body. That vibration of recognition is moving through my body, and I didn't feel it. The interview was great. It flowed. It was, the place was beautiful, but I just didn't feel that resonance. I kind of felt it at the community mental health place, but it was more of like that, my bleeding heart, my heart that wants to help and be of service. And I didn't feel in either of those interviews that sense of recognition by the people who were interviewing me. Like I was really being seen and recognized for my unique qualities. So fast forward to the interview at the inpatient psychiatric hospital. I walked in, my mind was saying, okay, just remain open, don't rule anything out. But, in the back of my mind, there was like that message, don't go there. You're not going to want to be there. Don't waste your time. So the supervisor who is in charge of the counselors interviewed me, and she called me back to her office. And I don't think it was more than 30 seconds before we had made a connection. And she was looking through my resume and asking me about human design and, the coaching that I do. And we got into talking about meaning and purpose and how that's so important for people who are dealing with mental health issues and important for people in general. And we had this resonance about us, and I felt recognized by her. And she even said things like, oh, because we got into some woo-woo stuff, not a lot, but like we were like looking at each other like, yeah, we get each other. And she was even saying, you really need to meet this person in this department, because she's a nature-based therapist and she's a yogi, And then she started talking about like the different wards that they have and how like in that hospital I will see mental health conditions that I won't see anywhere else. And when she said that, I observed myself leaning in and going, really? And that gong sensation, that frequency resonated throughout my body. And I knew this is a place where I want to spend my summer practicum. But it will not be the place where I'm going to do my internship. And that's a story for the third video. So I'll be back with that. Let me know what you got from this video in terms of what's important for the Splenic Authority, what is important as a projector, and what's the difference between like what happens in the mind and what happens in the body and the authority. All right, so until the next time, be well.